Hello everyone, and welcome to the GameCola podcast. This is podcast number 38. Somehow we've made it to 38. With me today are a whole ton of podcasters. We've got... Woo! Yeah, whoa! We've got Jillian Dingwall, alphabetical order, Paul Hansen, Michael Gray returning again, Christian Porter, Michael Ridgway, and Nicolas Suprak. Everyone, introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Jillian. I do the iPad and iPhone reviews for GameCola. Well, I've done a few.
Hi, I'm Paul Franzen. I'm GameCola's editor-in-chief.
Hi, I'm Michael Gray. I was GameCola's reporter for E3, which I think we might talk about in this podcast.
Do you count, Alex, or am I next?
I don't go in the introduction. I
God.
podcast.
Oh, God.
You have to start over.
Oh. I'm Christian Porter, and I do Top of the Heap and speak American.
And I'm Mike Ridgway. I do Quantum Geek sometimes when I feel like it.
And I'm Nicolas Suprak, and I'm assistant editor-in-chief.
Whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa, we have a new assistant editor-in-chief? What happened to
No,
that?
that's not true.
Oh, Paul,
No.
you didn't tell us about that.
I
Tell us
printed
about
out a
it.
business card. It's very official.
No. Well, I don't have an assistant. I'm editor-in-chief, and everyone else is just very, very far below me. That's it. Except Jetty. I like Jetty.
Hey,
I'm
how's it
starting
going?
my own website, GameCola 2.
Well, there was Zach Rich's carbonated video game news or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that fun?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was the April Fool's Day joke that should have never been.
That can apply to pretty much all of our April Fool's jokes that we've ever done, though.
That's the April Fool's Day joke that led me to signing Zach Rich up for, like, lesbian Jewish couples newsletters in Florida. Like, old lesbian Jewish people. Apparently they have a newsletter.
And then he quit the website.
Zach Rich?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, the
Zach
whole
Rich
state was old people.
predates people in this episode.
Zach Rich.
Isn't that
So he
crazy?
used to work here?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
does not work?
Until sometime last year. Like,
Oh.
2007 to last year, I think.
Oh. I think you're better off without him, knowing nothing about him.
I miss Zach
Paul
Rich.
drives everyone who loves him away.
Paul can drive?
Touche.
So what are we doing here,
You
Jetty?
can drive. You just can't find a parking spot when you're at the National Zoo in
Oh, don't bring that up.
DC. You made us walk 2 miles to the
I
zoo.
parked
What?
and then parked 2 miles away.
Do they not a lot?
Nope.
Paul, why didn't you take the metro?
I had a very good reason at the time.
Oh.
Someone's peeing.
It escapes me.
Okay, and we need to introduce Jetty. Jetty, this is Alex Jedman, who is the host of the podcast.
Yeah, that's me.
Ta-da!
So we're at the podcast, yeah. Hooray! Oh, podcast. Okay, so, let's get this started. Paul, it was an amazing month for listener mail.
It was. We had at least 2 letters.
At least.
I think there was discussion in the pre-podcast. There might have been 3, but I think I might have lost one because I only have 2.
Really? Oh, well, hold on. I got my mail over here. I can go check.
Didn't they email it to you?
They email me.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I definitely got 3 emails.
I have I have an email from Sarah and an email from James.
Hold on. I have Sarah, James, and Sam.
Sam? Oh, God. All right.
Sam was the one with the website.
Oh, man, I didn't put that in my Word document. I feel
Well,
like such a jerk.
Well, you can read the other 2 and I'll read this one. Or did you want to save that one for...
You read it after I read the first 2.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Podcast, Paul. Podcast.
Podcast. Okay,
Focus.
I'm here. I'm focused. I'm here. Okay.
Okay, wait. Everyone put your hands into the center. Okay? You ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Podcast.
Podcast.
Yes.
You should tell us
Yeah,
what we're
let's
going to
see.
yell beforehand. That was...
We're going to yell podcast on 3.
Okay.
And then we already did it. So
Our
let's
first
go.
letter is from
Correct.
Sarah, who says, "Hey guys, I've been listening to your podcasts for a while, about 8 months I think, and I love them. I'm one of about 5 or 6 girls in a gaming and animation class of 20. Yeah, it's an interesting class. Secretly, I feel bad for our teacher. I'm not really a first-person shooter person, but I enjoy playing adventure games and puzzle games. She goes on to ask a few questions that we will probably be using as discussion topics later in the show, so I'll leave that for now. And then she finishes with, P.S. I love the Willy Beamish Let's Play series on YouTube, especially the part where Michael and Paul get stuck and keep dying because the cook kept turning around too fast. Great fun. Keep up the awesomeness.
I don't know why anybody ever likes that. That was 40 minutes of us dying 50 times.
I can't imagine that someone watched it.
But that is the most popular part of the entire series, is us dying over and over and over and over again.
Maybe it's like Super Meat Boy.
But there wasn't even a cool replay at the end.
Yeah.
So that's Sarah's email. I have another one here from James.
So wait. We're doing viewer mail, or we're doing listener mail, and then we're not even answering the questions.
Yeah.
Is there a
what's
question?
We have a habit.
We're doing the questions later. Don't worry.
But are you familiar with the format that listener/viewer mail is usually done in? It's like,
Look,
hey,
I don't tell you, this
I'm
is a
listening
show
to this
in
show.
which we have
Get it?
discussion topics. I'm going to be stealing their questions and using them as discussion topics. It's
I'm
okay.
just throwing this out here. This is why you could use an assistant editor-in-chief.
Look, I think everyone should just realize that we got an email from a girl.
Didn't we get emails from girls before, or was this the first one?
This is the first one.
I can
Oh.
only imagine. It must be the first.
Women get emails from women. I assume. I don't check my GameCola email, but I assume I am swimming in it.
It's the beards, for sure.
I get emails from women all the time, Russian women who want to date me. So, but this is the first GameCola podcast email from a girl.
Our next email is from James, who says, Dear GameCola Podcast, it was nice to hear that I could contribute some Black Gary Bablam, whatever that may be, to the podcast. I'm hoping to see some new Star Fox at E3 because that series has gone untouched for quite some time. I also think that the iPod-esque controllers could prove to be somewhat cool, but I would like to see Nintendo go back to a somewhat more normal controller. Maybe they could set it up like a GBA so that there are solid buttons as well as a display screen to have menus and extras, but touchscreen controller would just be too difficult to be accurate with. Keep up the great work, James.
Can I comment on this?
No.
Having watched the Nintendo thing today?
Yes.
Because I've been, seeing like the initial talkings about this, and I've heard people complaining about this new controller. First up, has everyone seen the new system,
Yes.
the Wii U?
I haven't.
No.
All right, so
I've seen the controller, but the actual I don't get it. Is there not a new console? It's just like this new
There's
controller.
a
There's
console.
a new console. They didn't really talk about it. It looks like the Wii.
But
it's
more round.
powerful. Yeah. And then the controller is basically a tablet PC with some buttons on the side used as a controller. I understand what he's saying there with the Game Boy Advance remark, and this reminds me of using the Game Boy Advance with the connector thing for the GameCube that they had. This is what Nintendo's doing.
I'm back. Yeah, and that is totally what they're doing.
Right. Thanks, Michael Gray. Totally ruined it. No.
I wasn't sure until he yelled that out.
that's the exact same thing that I thought of. It's because they announced 4 swords, right? 4 swords for the DSi.
Right.
And that immediately made me think of 4 swords, which is pretty much the exact same thing they're doing with their new controller.
Well,
That is
yeah,
what we're talking
it
about.
has that functionality, but it can do a lot more. So you're probably going to see forays like into social gaming, where like you have interactivity with sites on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But more so, they've incorporated some motion controls, but they're innovating again. Because now the motion control field has gotten saturated. You've got Sony doing it, you've got Microsoft doing it. And Microsoft and Sony have had to invest a lot of money in this to actually produce something that's more accurate or interesting than Nintendo's motion control. But the fad is kind of running its course. And now Nintendo's moving on. It's like, hey, we're going to give you these extra screens and these extra points of view. So what they're doing is they're innovating again. So basically, their business. They want to keep making money. And they're innovating while it's cheap to do so, while people are going to be like, oh man, having all these different perspectives is great. Until like in 3 or 4 years, you're going to see, or maybe 2 or 3, you're going to see Microsoft and Sony say like, oh, hey, we've got this new controller that you can view from different angles, or, you know, we're going to have dual screen consoles or whatever the hell they're going to do. But they're going to do it because Nintendo's going to do this, and it's going to be popular because they already have a huge install base with the Wii, and they're making everything backwards compatible. So you don't have to buy new. You can use Wii remotes. You can use the Wii balance board. You can use all your old Wii crap, but with this new HD system that's got this new functionality. And you know, Microsoft and Sony will catch up, and then Nintendo will do something new, and Nintendo will make oodles and oodles of money because they're freaking breaking the game that is the game industry competition market, whatever. They are killing it. Killing it.
I thought it looks pretty dumb.
I think your
I just
Mr.
wanna
T costume
know-
looks pretty dumb.
Oh!
That will not make any sense to anyone who's listening to this.
His avatar on Skype is a Mr. T costume.
Really? I'm not seeing that.
I thought that was really Mr. T. I didn't know that was a costume.
Wait, is he in blackface?
I might be.
I'm gonna have to take a picture of this and post it along with it.
Can we call this the podcast about blackface?
Yeah, let's not do that.
Oh.
Black Gary Bablam?
Couldn't they have just
Oh,
called it the
boy.
Super Wii?
Hey, what's the U stand for?
It stands for you.
As in me?
I figure it's like we as in all of us, and then you as in you.
Yeah, because that's what they
Yes.
said originally about the Wii, is that it was like us, right?
So they're just spelling it out like a 14-year-old boy on AIM. Okay.
I have the exact
Okay, also,
quote.
okay,
It's,
name me a system with a good name that is done well.
The Virtual Boy.
Super Nintendo.
They took Nintendo and
Sega
added
Genesis?
Super-
Hey, the Super Nintendo was a great name.
I'd be okay with Super Wii.
yes,
I'm
yeah.
saying you have stuff like Dreamcast and it fails horribly. Only the systems with crappy names do well.
What about PlayStation?
Crappy name.
I think that's a great name.
Crappy name.
The station on which you play.
It made sense to me.
Yeah, it's a little
Okay,
too
all
literal,
right. You
I
think it's
think.
great now. What did you think of it when you heard it for the first time?
When I was like 7, I thought it was awesome.
Really?
But I thought everything was awesome when I was 7, so I'm not sure if that's...
Did
don't think
anyone
I had
else
to-
notice that in the press conference they opened it, the discussion of this by saying that we know the Wii's name was really crappy at first, but it got better after you stopped thinking
I
about
did.
it. We hope
I
the
did
same
get
will
that.
happen with this one.
Yeah.
It's a great
That
sales
was pretty
pitch.
funny.
If that's your opening, you probably should have thought of something else.
Before, I was hearing rumors like yesterday that the official name was going to be the Nintendo, just the Nintendo, and I think I
Yeah.
actually would have preferred that now.
Wow.
Project
I heard
Cafe.
that
I
it was going to
would.
be called... Sorry.
What?
I heard that it was going to be called Nintendo.
The
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. I was really excited about that.
TNN.
That's so Inception.
The guy is
Nintendo
Oh,
inside
it's
of Nintendo.
true.
Works.
Yo, dog, I heard you like Nintendo, so I put a Nintendo in your Nintendo so you can Nintendo while you Nintendo.